Do you think it's the same message that was always relayed in the beginning, or do you think that because of the political stuff that has changed, do you think the message has changed?
The message? Well, the message remains the same, you know. It's just one message of one perfect love, peace on earth, unity amongst all mankind. And this is the same message that we convey today. You know what I mean? So, yeah. There's no change.
Like
There's
one
no
of the
change.
guys said, it's to keep the young people in line so they don't walk on the wild side.
I think that's possibly, although I think that's that may be the most important message you can give at the moment. I think I can only speak for the UK, but I think in the UK there's a lot of young people that get led astray by false false idols, exactly. And I think that to have that true message coming through is such an important.
And also, they have to be careful of the music they listen to and they make. Because the music what we make, we think of the first instrument in music, which is drums. So your drums must be outstanding. And you know, drums is a thing what people used to use and send message from village to village, town to town, you know. And we engraft that vibe and put it in the trap drum and feel it on the one track. Give me that mystical roots, love and feeling of reggae. But most of these modern beats we hear, drum beats, they are playing war drums and worse, they're not even conscious of it. So we got problems.
I think you're right, man.
We're wondering like what you think about like the modern sort of interpretations of reggae and dub, like particularly like you obviously are familiar with like dubstep and or underground bass. I think might be called out in the US and so on.
Drum and bass.
Drum and bass, but
dubstep
is more
two-step, dubstep.
Yeah. How do you feel about these sort of new things, which obviously, like, without reggae, they probably would not exist?
Hip hop wouldn't exist without reggae.
Yeah.
All of hip hop was. Where do you think the first sound system? The first guys were from Jamaica. The sound system. They came. Kool Herc and all those guys came to New York City. From Jamaica, and they set up the sound systems that they used to have in Jamaica outdoors. And when they had a record, they would play it. Towards the end of the record, it was the instrumental. On the other side was the dub version. So the guy would sit there and start rapping over it. Everybody from Cuddy Ranks, everybody from back Sugar Minor, all those guys. They used to just DJ, called DJs. The guy who was spinning the record was the selector, and it evolved to hip hop. What hip hop is, the bass, all the bass lines that you hear in rock music, in reggae and dancehall, in hip hop, and all those music. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't hear that tone and the sound of the deep bass in the world today.
So, I mean, reggae probably like pioneered the sound system culture with like that heavy bass.
Oh yeah,
I mean, obviously,
for sure.
Leeds is renowned for the Iratian Steppers, like, renowned for their sound system. I mean, do you think it's a positive thing, or this progression for like? There's so many genres offshooting from it.
You always say every musician is inspired by another great musician, right?
Oh yes.
Right.
Every great artist always inspires from another.
Who inspired
just like
you?
myself. You know, they hear good things, music, and then I collaborate them, you know. Get a match.
Who inspired you? Who inspired you back in the day? Which artists?
A lot. I listen to Curtis Mayfield. I listen to the Drifters, you know, Impression, Shy Lights, of course, the Godfather of Soul, James Brown. I listen to Little Richards, Pat Lamlo, Elvis Presley, you know, and country music too. I like to listen to, like J.J. And I engrave all of those vibes. And the meters too, them funky.
Yeah.
You know.
Funky meters.
try to learn the vibes then. So I smile with him.
So what do you think you would have ended up doing if it wasn't music?
Repeat?
What do you think you could have done if it was not music? What do you think you would have done?
Well, I am also electrical welder.
Okay.
I'm a mechanic.
There you are.
Fix the toolbox.
I'm a blacksmith.
Right.
Been kind of engineer and stuff. Build burglar bar, grill, swimming pool, railing, staircases, and
That sounds like a good career to me.
and when I left school, I was enrolled in the Jamaica Youth Corps camp, parish in Jamaica called Manchester, and a district called Pablo. This man here is also from Pablo, Manchester. The camp where you're trained to be a force, army, special force, and things like that. But while I was there, I love the food and the training and the discipline for sure. But I take music for it.
Yeah. I take music first as well.
One thing we had, like a couple of our listeners on the radio gave us a couple of questions to ask you guys, and one of them was like, apparently at the time when the Wailers were first coming out, no one sort of in the West, in the US or Europe, had really heard of reggae and stuff, and you were categorised as under rhythm and blues rather than maybe pop or rock or other more popular genres. And do you reckon this affected your initial success? What actually was, would you have achieved great commercial success, like in the USA or in Europe in the late 70s when you first came out, if people had categorised you more correctly or more universally? And do you think this would have affected your creativity at all?
Well, it was also good to be linked up with Island Records.
Yeah.
You know, that was a great help. And the president, which is Chris Blackburn, he's a Jamaican man too, you know. School, you know, in the UK too, and he's sensitive in music. He loves music. He's a lover of music. And the first time when we worked in the studio in Lapid Grove on Basing Street, he got two studios and he showed us the bottom one and play something for us and then take us up top, the number one studio, you know, it looked like a spaceship, you know. Play some sounds and say what we think. I said the basement studio is the studio what we need. I said it's one up the top there, I agreed. Looked nice, but the bottom studio of the vibes. And the second studio was Hammersmith, where we work on Exodus. This tour here is called Exodus. Movements of Japan. And it was also, what do you call it, awarded or nominated?
Awarded, not nominated.
Awarded by Times Magazine as the album of the century.
The BBC also said One Love was the song of the century. Voted the song of the century. So it basically is the song of all time, right?
Yeah.
Because
So
I don't know any other songs really before. There's no records.
Before the 20th century.
Yeah.
You zoom him? Yes.